Welcome to D. McClung's Archer Monologues, where I talk and you don't. Have you ever noticed how some people, they say things that are probably a good thing. They're probably right. And I'll just give an illustration here. So somebody says something. I'll give you the formula first. They say something right, something right, something right, something right, and then they just went a little too far, and then they said something wrong. You understand what I'm saying? They're right, they're right, they're right, they're right, oops, and then they're wrong. And it seems to me that if a person is thinking rationally, in a rational train of thought, if their minds are in gear, it would seem to me that they would know when they kind of fell off the stage with that last comment. You would think they would notice the inconsistency with that last thing. All right, so let's do an illustration. Somebody says, I believe in freedom. Okay. I believe in human rights. Okay. I believe that the government should not be telling us what to do and getting involved, sticking their nose in our business and in our lives, and should leave us alone and just take care of the things they're supposed to take care of as a government. They're a little sketchy on what that might be sometimes. So, and then they say, like small government and things like that. And they get a little upset with other people or with the government when the government does something that's consistent with what they just stated was part of their thinking. They believe in freedom. They believe in individual rights. They believe in like the freedom of speech, the freedom of self-defense, for example, the right of self-defense. They believe in they believe that taxes are theft and so on. They believe in small government and things of that nature. This probably describes libertarians, I guess, mostly. All right. And then they say something really that totally blows the, they just drop off the credibility platform, by saying one more thing, practically in the same breath. I believe this, and I believe this, and I believe it. And then they say, there should be a law, or that should be illegal, or even they want it to be illegal. And you could pick a couple of different things that might apply to. They believe the government should not be involved in our business. I've even had people suggest that, and they're not always 100% on top of the subject, but for example, the government shouldn't be involved in marriage and things like that. And then they turn around and say, that should be illegal. They want the government to make a law, but apparently they want the law to apply to other people and not themselves. In other words, they believe in freedom. They believe in human rights and individual rights. They believe in the right of free speech and the right to practice their religion as they please, the right to keep and bear arms, for example. They believe in, stuff of that nature. And then they say, in the same breath almost, abortion should be illegal. And they want it. They demand it. It's got to be. It's murder. Murdering babies. It's got to be illegal. Make it illegal. And they don't see the conflict in that. We want the government to mind its own business, leave us alone. And then, but we want the government to tell those people not to have an abortion or to go to jail or something. Now, I don't know who you are. You're listening to this. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, what your life is like, what goes on in your business, and which as it should be, I suppose. It's none of my business what you do and what your life is about, unless, of course, your life is about talking to me, uh, or in some way is involved in my life in some place, like if you're like a family, or if you're somebody that's like does business with me, or I do business with you, or something like that. In indirect relationship with you as far as you're operating a business and I'm buying your stuff. Or I'm operating a business as an artist, for example. I make stuff and I want people to buy my stuff. I publish books and I would like people to buy my books. So if you have a relationship with me, like just buy my books. Or, that's the only thing that you really know about my life. You know that I produce books, picture books, poetry books, fiction books, nonfiction books, whatever. And I've got the book, and here it is in the store. In this case, in some cases, or in most cases, Amazon store. Buy my book. It's cool. If you like it, if you want it, I mean, it's your choice. Buy the book. So anyway, I don't know what your situation is generally. I mean, I know about family, and I know about some acquaintances that I have some contact with in some level in my life. Like the guy at the local mom and pop store. Hi, how you doing, Jim? How you doing, Bob? How you doing, Dave? Enough to talk to and transact business with. But I don't know about their sex life. I don't know about their personal business. I don't know what they do when they're like not in the store. And they don't know what I do when I'm not in their store. Unless I tell them or they tell me what they're doing. But generally speaking, they don't. Because, basically, why should they? It's not my business. But when somebody says, hey, that should be illegal, or I want it to be illegal, and they don't see the conflict in their very previous statement that said that they want the government not to be making things illegal that I want to do, like exercise my freedom of speech or um, operate a business in whatever way I want to operate it. And it's my business. I have a right to have a business. I have a right to buy and sell stuff or engage in selling my services to people, public, whoever I choose, because I'm not a corporation. Corporations they don't have rights. But at any rate, I don't see how these people that are supposedly intelligent people do not see the conflict between freedom and no freedom. Freedom for me, but not for them. And I don't get that. It boggles my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's um, like the abortion thing. It's like, I think it's wrong. It's murdering babies, blah, blah, blah. Planned Parenthood, they sell body parts and all that shit, which is mostly made up shit. Or they just don't understand the concept of how things work in that area. It's all subjective, emotionally charged bullshit. And that bullshit is fed by hysteria, and the hysteria is created by hysteria mongers. But these same people, abortion, it's killing, murdering babies, and then they turn around and say, I believe in freedom. Well, apparently you don't. Apparently you're a fucking hypocrite. And in this sense of the word, I mean, the way I'm saying it here now, as applying it to someone who is a hypocrite, I mean like in not a very good person. I mean, I can understand a person being, maybe I'm a little bit of a hypocrite now and then, here and there, under certain circumstances. But nothing on the scale at which these batshit crazies are hypocrites. I can't even, I was just thinking real quick in my filing system in the back of my head here, what kind of example could I give of myself being a hypocrite? I can't think of anything at the moment. Maybe I'll think of something later. But at any rate, and I wouldn't ask you to tell me an example because I don't think you know me well enough to do that. So I'm just saying. All right, wait a minute. I have to light the damn cigarette again because the damn cigarettes are defective and they won't stay lit. And I sure wish somebody would sue the tobacco companies or the cigarette manufacturers and sue them for fraud, for selling a defective product, and it, just sue them for billions. And I would support that. I can't afford to do it. I don't have that kind of money. And I don't have the means to bring such lawsuits or file such criminal charges. But if there was an organization that would do that, or a group of people got together and said, listen, we got some people in our group that are millionaires, and we got the money, and we're gonna get one of us is we got some lawyers on the group, and we're gonna bring lawsuits and file criminal charges against the cigarette companies for making a defective product. And we're gonna go to court, and we're gonna make them stop doing that. Stop selling your freaking defective product and fix it. Now, I don't want them to stop selling cigarettes. I want them to stop selling defective cigarettes. Now, I know this is not a question of health issues and all that stuff. I'm not getting into that. It's beside the point. If you're selling anything that's defective, now I know I got away from the hypocrisy thing for a second, but I'll get back to that in a minute. If you're selling a defective product and people know it's a defective product, because every customer that buys cigarettes and smokes these cigarettes knows that the damn cigarettes are defective. They don't work as cigarettes are supposed to work. They go out. Like sometimes you light it, it doesn't even stay lit the first time you take a puff on it. It just, you light it, goes right out. You light it again, goes right out. Then you smoke it, you about 25% down, and goes out again. And then it gets down to about, I don't know, about halfway or a little bit more than halfway. Excuse me. And it goes out. And there's no way you can keep that sucker. You can puff on that thing like crazy. It's just going to go out. And you try to light it again, it doesn't want to. It's defective. This is a fact that I can tell you. I'm smoking one right now. I already had to light it once. And it's getting down to that point where it's going to go out again. And it's a waste. I'm wasting like a third of the cigarette because it won't burn after that. This fire retardant shit is what it is. And, it's not necessary. Besides, it's another fraud because they're not fire retardant. Sometimes they burn clear down into the filter if you put them down in an ashtray. Sometimes they just burn all the way. Because sometimes the cigarettes don't have enough fire retardant, and sometimes they have too much, and I think most of the times they have too much. Whatever the hell that is that makes them fire retardant. Someone explained it to me one time, but that doesn't even make sense. But at any rate, I want to sue them. I want to make them stop making defective products. Now, see, maybe that's a hypocrisy here on my part, because I'm saying business, free enterprise, do what you want, as long as you're not violating someone's rights. But if you violate someone's rights by selling them a defective product, and you have a freaking monopoly, I guess I could go in and make my own cigarettes. But that's really not the point, is it? I don't have time to make cigarettes. I don't have time to grow tobacco. I don't have time to get papers and roll them and put them in. I don't have time for that. I got my own life. I buy somebody else's cigarettes. Free enterprise. Yes, cool. That's good. I'm going to the store, buy it. Hey, you got it? I want it. You got it? I'll buy it. Here's money. Free enterprise. So maybe I'm a little bit of a hypocrite when I suggest that, I want somebody. I'm not suggesting that the government makes some kind of law. The laws already exist. Fraud is a crime. Selling a defective product is a crime. Not to mention it's unethical. So that's just an example of maybe I'm being a hypocrite here when I'm suggesting maybe, but on the other hand, I'm saying no, I'm not suggesting make a law. I'm saying somebody should bring a court action against the tobacco companies and to cigarette manufacturers and make them stop selling freaking defective products. Free enterprise. They have a right to sell defective products. No, they fucking don't. No, they don't. So if you want to call me a hypocrite on that one, okay, fine, fuck you, I don't care. I mean, I can live with that. But the fact is they're defective. So let's get back to the other thing. The hypocrisy is when someone says, I believe in freedom, and then they turn around in the same breath and say, I want that against the law. Now, they're not talking about a lawsuit like by an individual, like suing another individual or something. They're talking about they want the government to do their bidding and make things against the law, which is totally the opposite of freedom. And it's wrong. Seriously. Now, I don't want forced people. I don't want them to make a law making it illegal to want for people. I don't want to make it illegal for people to say freedom of speech there or want. They can want whatever they want. If they're opposed to abortion, that's fine. Freedom, duh. If you believe abortion is wrong or it's murdering babies or whatever, don't have one. It's as simple as it can get. You don't believe in it, don't do it. You don't like it, don't have one. Period. That's where freedom is free. You're free, and other people, they can exercise that right, that legal medical procedure that in many, many cases is necessary or beneficial to the health and well-being of the mother, etc. So the point here, I'm not arguing about abortion here at this point. I'm just using it as an example of how they say, yeah, freedom, 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 tyranny, dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? And it boggles my mind that people can do that. They say, yeah, I believe in freedom of speech. And then they censor me. Yeah, there are certain situations. Well, I have a right not to listen to you. Yeah, except still censorship, isn't it? You don't believe in censorship when it's you, like, don't censor me. And I admit that I get a little ticked off when people censor me. I'm not talking about corporations and jackass Facebook and stuff. I'm talking about individuals who censor me. How do they do that, D? Well, they do, particularly on social media and so on. But I don't want them arrested. I don't want them signed into law. You know, it doesn't have to do with the Constitution and all that stuff. It has to do with, if you censor me, I don't like you. You're a bad person. You're making a decision to censor me. Nah, that's not saying you don't have to listen to me. I mean, you don't have to listen to me. Freedom. You can walk away or whatever. Like on social media, you're on there. You read what I say. You don't like it. I got to censor that guy. You know. Then they get really pissed if you censor them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is they're right, they're right, they're right. And then they say something that's wrong. They believe it, believe it, believe it, believe it. Oh, yeah, well, it's contradictory to what you believe, but yeah, you're going to believe it anyway. It's insane. It's ridiculous. Why? How could they not see the conflict in that? I wish I could think of another example. Marriage. I have the right. Marry. And this is something that people have just totally forgotten about, apparently. I'm thinking about 98%, 97% of Americans think that marriage has something to do with the government, when it doesn't. Gay marriage, well, it's a government program, and in America, the way the system is set up, the government cannot violate human rights, and marriage is a human right, so there can't be any laws regulating it or taxing it or making it legal or illegal or banning it or whatever, because it's a human right. So there can't be any laws that interfere with human beings engaging in marriage as they damn well please. Yeah. But somehow or another, oh, you got to get a license. It won't be legal. When the fact is, yeah, it is perfectly legal. Licenses have nothing to do with marriage. That's an incorporation scheme, a fraud, and it has to do with a government program, which is like a program. The program. It's like they invented this system of doing something, and they put a label on it. That's marriage, or food stamps, or Social Security program, or the unemployment program, healthcare program. It's a program. It has nothing to do with you, me, freedom, Constitution, or whatever. You follow what I'm saying? So it's a program. So, they shouldn't make, gay marriage shouldn't be legal. Wait a minute. Didn't you just say freedom? Didn't you just say you were in favor of freedom? Didn't you just say that the government should stay out of our business? I'm pretty sure that marriage is a personal business, personal affair, personal thing. Like, I see someone, hey, how you doing? Love you, 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 love you. Kissy, kissy, and then let's get married. Okay. So how are we going to do this married thing? Any way we want. What are we going to define this marriage as? Any way we want. So, okay, boy, girl, 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 boy, boy, man, two women, whatever. Do whatever you want. It's freedom. Oh, we can't have that. Why not? It's freedom, and it's exercising a human right, and a human right can be defined any way you want it for yourself. But no, we got to regulate that. By the way, polygamy is not illegal. There might be laws on the books having something to do with that, but if you don't get a government license, permission slip, incorporation scheme, then the government has nothing to say about it. Marriage is a human right. Government has no say in it. That's a fact. I know this because, I'm not stupid. Because I've studied history. I've studied the subject and issues of marriage over the past probably 500 years. Well, let's say over the past 100 years or so. Marriage is what you say it is for you. Just like, exercising your right to free speech. It's, free speech is absolute, really. But responsible. Be responsible. Say something nasty, be responsible enough to own up to the fact that you said something was nasty. Don't say it. It was bad. Someone would punch you in the face. You called me the N-word. Bam! Right in the face. And so you got consequences. So anyway, the point is, I'm trying to make over and over again, as I ramble through this, is that people say things, and they say one thing, which is, that's cool, and then they say something totally contradicting themselves. And they don't see that contradiction. They don't see the conflict between this one thing that they believe in and the other thing they also believe in that is total opposite of the very first thing they said. And they'll say it in the freaking same paragraph or same sentence even sometimes. I believe in freedom of speech, but you, shut up. I believe in the right to keep and bear arms, but those people over there should not have a gun. I believe in freedom, but hey, that guy shouldn't be selling that. It boggles my mind. Now, if you don't believe in freedom, and you believe in being a bully and a thug and a liar and a tyrant and all that stuff, dictator, a busybody, whatever, like Ron Paul, for example, he's a thug and a hypocrite and a bully, and he always has been, as far as I can tell. Now, I'm really disappointed in Ron Paul because, Rand Paul. Ron Paul used to be all right. I think he's got a little senile in his old age, and he's turned into his son, which is really freaky. But anyway, Rand Paul, I think in a small government, I think government should take, blah, 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 freedom, 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 freedom of religion, freedom of this, freedom to have a gun, blah, blah, blah. And then turn around and says, abortion should be illegal. Well, excuse me, but you're saying the opposite of something. You just said freedom, and then, nope, not freedom. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a total conflict, and it just boggles my mind that people don't see that. And I've explained this. Everything I've said here in the last 28 minutes, I've said it many, many times before, over and over, everywhere. On the blog, this blog, I've said it in articles I've written, I've said it on my Facebook and other social media places, and I've said that stuff before, and they just absolutely refuse to grasp the concept that you're good and that's not good. You believe this, but you believe just the opposite on something else. You believe marriage between a man and a woman. Well, that's your opinion. That's for you. But that's not the reality. That's not the truth. That's not the way it is in legal terms either. Now, there's a government program called marriage, but it's not really. And the government defines marriage according to their program. It has nothing to do with reality. It has nothing to do with your life and my life as we live it on a day-to-day basis. That's just the government program. And I don't like the government program because I know it's a fraud. I know it's a fraudulent scheme to incorporate people. By the way, corporations are taxable. Marriage is not taxable because it's a human right. See what I'm saying? So, just throwing in that information. By the way, there's no law making the average non-incorporated individual American liable for the income tax. There's no law, meaning if you looked on the law books, the code books, the United States legal code, you will not find anything in there that says anything about a non-incorporated individual human being paying income tax. Swear to goodness, because I've looked, it's not there. Senators actually have even looked, couldn't find it. I think his name Iwakawa, something like that. California or Hawaii, one or the other, I can't remember. But they asked him, can you find that? And I'll look for it. And he had his staff look for it. And they looked in the congressional records and everywhere. Couldn't find any law that had anything to do with individual Americans. Yeah, couldn't find it. And if a senator can't find it, and he has like 100 people looking, and he has access to everything, like all the laws, all the code books, all the congressional records and everything. Nope, it's not there. See? So anyway, another bit of information there, and that's true. And if you did the research, like I have, and you looked for sources of information that is proven to be true and substantiated with documented evidence, etc., you would agree that there's no law making any non-incorporated individual liable for the income tax. And it's a little more complicated than that, but that's the basic truth. It doesn't apply to us. The income tax applies to privileges. And privileges, who does privileges? Corporations. Individuals engage in privileges? Sometimes. But income or earning a living is not one of them. You have the right to earn a living. So it doesn't apply to us. This is the law. I'm telling you, this is true. If you don't believe me, look it up. Do your own research. Don't listen to stupid people. And don't take the word of some idiot. And for that matter, don't take my word for it, because I might be an idiot. I'm not, but, just saying. Check it out. I will give you resources if you need them. If you can't find them on your own, I will give you resources. In fact, I'll give it to you right now. Dave Champion wrote a book. It's called Income Tax, Shattering the Myths. In that book, it's 400 and some pages. Get the book, read the book. You'll know what I'm saying is true. You'll read it and it makes sense because it's very factual and very, what do you call it? Backed up by evidence, which he gives you in the back of the book. So anyway, that's that. So anyway, so in summation, basically, these people who talk about freedom and talk about small government and talk about getting the government out of our lives and so forth, they say that, and then they turn around and say something just the opposite. I'm repeating myself here. I'm being redundant. I want to make clear that I find that mind-boggling. I mean, I can think of something humorous, I guess. Okay? A guy says, I'm a white man, I'm a white man, I'm a white man, I'm a white man, oh, I'm a black man. What? You understand what I'm saying? He said this. In fact, he is a white man. Now, this has nothing to do with race. I'm not getting into that shit with you people. Not now. That's just another one of those crazy, stupid things going on right now. I'm just using as an example. Because I'm a white guy. I mean, I'm a white guy, I'm a white guy, I'm a white guy, I'm a white guy. And then I say, I'm a black man. That's absurd. And you know it. You can hear it, white, 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 black. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to use white and black. I could have said a guy. I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a woman. Do you get my drift? Just think about what I just said. I'll go through it again, just to emphasize it better, more. Again, redundant. Doesn't matter. I keep repeating stuff, and sometimes it sinks in, sometimes boom, over the head. But at any rate, here's the thing. I'm a guy. I'm a man. I'm a male. I'm a man. I'm a male. I'm a guy. Boom. I'm a woman. Now you can tell that that's the last thing I said about being a woman is not true. You know that's not true because, I'm not a woman. I'm a guy. And I can prove it because look down there. You can't see it, but you know what I'm saying? That's definitely guy parts. Now I know we got all these people, transgenders and transsexuals and all this weird shit going on. I'm not getting into that. That's another time. But and I don't have a problem with any of that. That's whatever turns you on, man. Whatever makes you happy. But if I'm going to say that I'm a guy, because I am a guy, and I can prove it I'm a guy, because I got the physical attributes of a guy, you can check my DNA or whatever, you can check my chromosomes. I'm a guy, I'm a man, I'm a male human being. Not a monkey, not a kangaroo. And you could probably see my pictures. And to be honest, I'll just tell you, the truth is, there are pictures of my body nude on the internet and have been for almost 20 years. And it's going to stay right there on the internet forever and ever and ever. And I have no problem with that because I am what I am. The sad part is I don't look quite as young and, as I did then when the picture was taken 20 years ago. I wish I was 20 years younger again. Anyway, you can see the conflict. If I'm going to say I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, and then boom, I'm an ostrich. How about that one? I'm not. You can look at me. I'm not an ostrich. I don't look anything like an ostrich. And I swear I'm an ostrich. But you just said you were a man. Yeah, that's true. I am a man. Well, you just saying you can't be both a man and an ostrich. It's just not possible. Now it's possible to be a man and a woman at the same time, I guess. But like I said, I'm not getting into that transgender stuff right now. See how it gets complicated? Just, someone's going to come across and say something like that. So I kind of, jumped the gun on them. So, like a preemptive strike, I'm going to say it first. So you don't have to. So at any rate, this is what bothers me. Rand Paul, for example, I was talking about him. He says, I believe in freedom, 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 human rights, 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 God-given rights in his case. And there's no God, by the way. And he says that, and then he turns around and says, abortion should be illegal because, that's what I believe, and I'm like a dictator, and I think I should tell everybody what to do and how to live. So, which makes him a hypocrite, and it makes him a thug and a bully. And it makes him stupid, because one, because he's a Christian, and two, because he wants to make a law making abortion illegal. Again, and that's just idiotic. And I would think his dad would have set him straight. Listen here, son, that's wrong, and that's not what I taught you, and stop it. Just stop it. I'm going to freaking smack you in the face. Straighten out your son, Ron Paul. Straighten your son out because, he's a freaking thug and a bully and a hypocrite and a liar. And, by the way, recently he was talking to Dr. Fucci, and he said some nasty stuff that wasn't true. And he tried to trip him up and get in, make a big fuss over that. And another case of Rand Paul being a thug and a bully and a liar. So anyway, all right. So I think I've made my point and expressed my befuddlement at these people who are like, yeah, freedom, 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 freedom. But I don't believe in freedom after all. I believe in freedom, 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 freedom. Nope, I don't believe in freedom. Because if you think that you have the right to tell someone else and you want to make it a law, making, let's say, abortion, for example, illegal, then you don't believe in freedom. And you're a liar and a hypocrite. All right? There's no dispute there, by the way. I'm not even going to entertain any comments to the contrary to what I just said, because it's just true. It's not my opinion. It's a logical conclusion based on calculated, critical analytic observations of human beings. All right. End of this episode, which is 45u. And it'll be posted. If you're listening to it, then it's posted. And I'll get to it here shortly. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it for listening. Share it. This is the thing. Share the freaking podcast with your friends and family and neighbors and whatever. Anybody, everybody. Put it on your freaking Facebook page or something. Put it up wherever you are that's listening. If you're on Facebook or Gab, oh, that's people. And talking about it. Anyway, YouTube, or anywhere. Just share it. Share it. I like to say make it go viral. It's not asking too much. Have you seen some of the crap that goes viral these days? It's pathetic. Here's somebody telling you something that's like giving you some information for your consideration. I have to have a disclaimer now. For your consideration. For you to think about and, perhaps improve your mind, your thinking, maybe even change your thinking. Because if you think opposite, if you're like a hypocrite when it comes to freedom, 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 nope, tyranny, then, you need to change your thinking because it's wrong. And you're causing problems for people. That's not a good thing. That's like a violating their right not to have your, bullying them around. That sort of thing. So, all right. Catch you next time. D. McClung, Arthur Monologues, where I talk and you don't. Well, unless there's a comment section down below, like on YouTube. And if YouTube doesn't censor your comment, which really pisses me off when they do that, but, you can make a comment. And if they censor you, then, try some other way of communicating your thoughts to me. And reword it or find another podcast service like Spreaker or whatever. Okay? All right. By the way, Spreaker has a comment section. YouTube has a comment section. If I put this on Facebook or any other social media place, there's a place where you can make a comment. All right. So I'll talk to you next time. In the meantime, be well, be happy, find joy. Life is short.